Hey everybody, Star 6 Wars 1 here, and welcome to the next part of Persona 3 versus 11 Eyes. For this one, we are taking a look at Junpei Iori versus Yukiko. Oops. To start this off, I want to point out the voice actor before I forget. For Junpei, since Japanese voice actors I'm not as familiar with. Sorry, guys. The voice actor for Junpei Iori should be a very well-known one to Fullmetal Alchemist fans. It's Vic Mignogna. That's right. Edward Elric himself is in Persona 3. Well, at least his voice actor. I won't lie and say it's weird, but it was part of the hook. Other notable roles he did was Tamaki from Ouran High School Host Club, even though I've never actually seen that anime. And he's done other notable roles in anime, way too many to name off here. But he was also in the sequel Persona 4 the animation as Kyo, though that's a very minor role at best. So yeah, we have Vic Mignogna voicing this person. Who isn't excited already? Next, I want to get into Yukiko first, just because Persona 3 has been getting a lot of wins. Let's see if this can finally break its winning streak. Yukiko is really both a great character, but at the same time, so depressing a character. When we first see her in the series, she's this kind of happy person who just seems all sweet and bubbly. She also likes touching other women's breasts, but we'll let that one go. Yeah, she's kind of eccentric, but remove those glasses and we get to see a darker side of her. A killer, if you will. She is ferocious when she gets this. She cannot tell friend from foe, and she will brutally slaughter you if you are in the wrong end of her swords. Now, she goes through a great amount of character development throughout the story, and she is, in my opinion, one of the best characters in 11 Eyes. We learned that she was raised in a village that made her slaughter a lot of people at a very young age, making her, in a sense, a child soldier. And it's hinted at that she's probably an orphan. Though, I'll be honest, with the fact that about half the cast of both Persona 3 and 11 Eyes are orphans, I would not be surprised. Yukiko gains also a love interest in Takahisa. Guess how that ends up? Badly. Not so much in the breakup, but in the fact that Takahisa loses control for spoilers I'll get into next time when I talk about him, and Yukiko is forced to kill him. And only after that does she realize she loved him. It's heartbreaking to watch that scene. In an episode, in 2 episodes earlier, she was crying that Takahisa would always be there for her and would support her and would potentially love her for who she is, and regardless of her past, which really touched her heart. Then only to go and take revenge on the Black Knights, only to get herself killed. She comes back just fine in the end, but really, it makes her one of the most tragic and memorable characters in 11 Eyes. Junpei is also memorable, though. Junpei starts out as this kind of how shall I put this, the wingman to your main character. He's kind of jealous of you being the leader, and he really is one of those people that kind of acts like a bit of a jerk, admittedly, and he wants to prove himself to the team but doesn't feel he's adequate. This might be due to the fact that his father is an alcoholic, but I won't get into that subject any more than that. He only mentions it in the game anyways. He too goes through his own development, learning to accept the protagonist for the fact that he's the leader, and becoming pretty much like his best friend. And he also goes through one of the most heartbreaking parts of Persona 3, his own romance. He falls in love with another character who I'll get into when I talk about the villains. But she starts out the villain. He eventually warms her heart and makes her very afraid. This causes Junpei some very, very distance between them, and unfortunately it really hurts him in the end. Yeah. It's sad to see what happens to him, and I'll go into spoilers here. He ends up being shot by Takaya, and he's killed. Chidori, his love interest, who works for the same people that just shot him, revives him at the price of her own life. And she does tell Junpei she loves him. And he says it back as she dies. He does not take Chidori's death well, and it really, really hurts him. And he also gives some bit of well-deserved payback by shooting the third member of their team with his persona right in the face with a fire spell. Ouch. Also, he had a friend as well, but I won't cover the friend yet because we'll have to cover him in villains too. Oh, poor Junpei. He goes through a lot of crap in the game, and unfortunately, it doesn't get much better for him. By the end of the game, he's lost a love interest, and he's lost his best friend pretty much, all of which is permanent, making his arc probably one of the sadder ones, but not the saddest. We'll get to that also next time for Persona 3. Overall, though, let's just finish this up. Who is the better character? Oh my god, I don't know. Oh, these two. I want to say Junpei, but Yukiko is a pretty dang good character, and is one of the three I think actually do really well character-wise. So, yeah, and I really like Yukiko too. I like her just as much as Junpei. Honestly, I can't decide who's better. Although I could debate Yukiko was better personality-wise, Junpei could be kind of an ass at times, and during the early part of the game a bit of a womanizer, though he grows out of this by the end of the game. And then we have Junpei, who goes through this character development that I really thought was well done, and rather heartbreaking. And both of them suffer heartbreak, almost equal to the other, because in a way they got their love interests killed. Ultimately, I am going to tie this one, because honestly, I can't decide who's better. Really, I can't. I think both are done fairly well in their series, and I think they're a bang up job for both. So both get the point. Both 11 Eyes and Persona 3 get the point in this one. Anyways, that's all from me. This has been Star 6 Wars 1. And join me next time when we cover the doomed characters of Takahisa versus Shinjiro. See you guys then.